Hello and welcome to the first Commence Entertainment podcast. We're just starting this out. I'm going to be your host, Luke Harrison, and I'm joined by
Jacob James.
Yes. So just to quickly explain how this podcast works before we get into all the fun stuff. There's going to be a different host each week, so it just rotates between me and Jacob, and then whoever's hosting it will guide everyone through the mists of the conversation and have the talking points, and then hopefully we'll look to get guests on, whoever we can get our hands on, to join us to have them throw their opinion in.
We're hopefully going to be joined by at least one of our friends on a regular basis, so
Yes,
it won't just be the two of us.
two of us talking, but hopefully we're interesting enough on our own.
Yes.
Hopefully. But to start off with, we're going to talk about comic books, because I, myself, and Jacob are both huge comic book fans, and the D23 Disney EXPO was, I think it was this week just gone by.
I think you're right, yeah.
Yeah, and one of the biggest things, personally, to come out of it was them talking about Avengers Infinity War, which is coming out, I think May 2018, next year. Too far away, in my opinion. Is it May 2018? Yes, it is, yeah. May
well,
4th.
We've still got Thor Ragnarok and Black Panther before then, so it's not like we're waiting a year without Marvel.
Yeah, but we're waiting a year without Avengers, Jacob.
Yeah?
Avengers
okay.
is the best, though. Okay, yeah. Okay, we've got those two films coming out, but Avengers Infinity War, at a private screening at this expo, I don't know how people got invited in. I guess it was just press were picked up. But I'm going to read to you what it was, a 2-minute intro piece of footage that they were showing. Lucky bastards. And so I'm going to read a description of what happened. So it says, the Guardians of the Galaxy are flying around, open quote, put on your mean faces, end quote, Star-Lord says, because he expects something nasty. There has been crazy destruction, and then a body smashes up against their ship. Get it away, Rocket says. They bring the body in, and it's Thor. And then brackets, spoilers for Ragnarok possibly. Mantis wakes him up, and Thor jumps up and exclaims, "Who the hell are you guys?" Next we see the Guardians with Thor flying to another planet, and when they arrive, again, it's just massive destruction again. They all know something is very wrong. Then it cuts to Earth. Scarlet Witch is moving around some cars or something, and a female voiceover says, "Death follows him like a shadow." Loki emerges and presents the Tesseract to someone who is taller than him. Then it cuts
Very
again.
descriptive.
Cuts again to Queens, and the hairs on the arms of a young Peter Parker stand up on the end. He turns around in fear, and we see a ship flying toward a planet we assume is Earth. We have one advantage, Tony Stark says. He's coming to us. As the ship crashes, we see Mantis, Iron Man, Star-Lord, Doctor Strange, and a few other characters in total shock. Open quote, "Fun really isn't something one considers when balancing the universe," end quote. A voice says, Gamora turns around in total horror, but this puts a smile on my face. Star-Lord, oh no, and out of a black hole emerges the purple madman Thanos, so he comes out of a black hole. That's wonderful. A fight begins. Doctor Strange is putting down platforms, and Star-Lord is jumping off them, shooting his guns. Cut to Spider-Man in his new suit, which was revealed at the end of Homecoming, the golden trimmed one, which looks fucking awesome.
It's the Iron Spider.
Yes, jumping through the air. A shot of Vision behind bars, a shot of a Wakandan army, which includes Bucky. Captain America comes out of the shadows with a full beard, so he's gone away and learned some shit. Black Widow is shown with blonde hair. Iron Man has...
Sorry, say that again?
Black Widow is shown with blonde hair.
She's in disguise. Gotta be.
Iron Man has new, very sleek armor. Someone is using the Hulkbuster armor, and then just like a huge montage of shots. Peter Parker is on the ground, very hurt. "I'm sorry, Tony," he says behind tears, with Iron Man holding his head. Thanos grabs Thor's head and squeezes. Then Thanos, in the heart of the battle with the Infinity Gauntlet on his hand, uses the power of the two stones. So he uses, it says purple and blue. So that's the Tesseract for blue, and then purple
is power.
Yes, the one from Guardians of the Galaxy, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then this is the best part of all of the description. Apparently there's a clip of him pulling a fucking moon and throwing it at a planet which people assume to be Earth.
What?
Apparently he's grabbed the fucking moon and he's dragging it down towards...
Are we talking telekinetically, or the badass is that big?
With the power of the fucking 2 Infinity Stones he's got.
Well, telekinetically, then. Yeah.
Or how? Yeah, I don't know. However, But yeah, that is the description that came out after the Infinity War screening was.
That is really weird out of context.
There's a whole lot of. There's just a whole lot of stuff going on in that description. It was nuts. I'm just so excited to see all of these. Even though we've had Avengers and stuff like that, they're still separate to Guardians and stuff like that, and to just have everyone just mushed together.
Because that's really what it is, isn't it? It is just a big mush. Who can we shove on screen at once?
It's just so... Go on.
Well, no, I was going to point out that they didn't describe any of the additional characters that are being brought in for Infinity War. So you've got people like Captain Marvel is being brought in, played by Brie Larson.
But to stop you there, she's going to be in the second part.
Ah, right, okay.
And I can imagine that they probably just shown a montage of all the biggest heroes because that's what people would recognise. I would imagine the people sat in that room would have been press people, and they might not have been like the huge comic book fans that we are, so they're not going to recognise the smaller characters.
Yeah, but they've. I didn't realise she was going to be in the second one, but they've made massive. They've been talking about the additional characters quite a lot.
Oh yeah.
Brie Larson is the only one I've been aware of, but there are others, aren't there?
Yeah. I think the Wasp was going to be in it. I'm not sure about the TV characters. I don't think it was I don't know whether they said they would be in it or not.
What, the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. characters?
Oh no, God no! The Netflix ones,
the Defenders.
Yeah, the Defenders. Sorry, that's it. I'd like to think they would be, but I don't. Nothing's been released about them being on. Maybe they might be brought in the second one after Thanos comes in and wrecks shit in the first one. Maybe the Defenders come out of hiding and stuff, and they.
I have a feeling they will be kept separate because they sort of they're keeping it very. Or Marvel is doing a lot of scaling with both their on-screen, big screen and small screen characters. So you've got Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I watched that. I'm quite far behind, but when you had lots of Marvel movies coming out, they were all connected. So you had to sort of watch the Marvel movies to understand quite a lot of what was happening in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but it didn't work vice versa.
Yeah.
And I reckon it's going to be fairly similar with Defenders.
Yeah, it went the same in all the Netflix series, didn't it? They talked about stuff that happened in the movies, but the movies never talked about the stuff that happened in the. But I guess they wouldn't, because the stuff that was happening in the movies was a lot bigger than what was happening in the TV shows anyway. So... Yeah,
but what happened in the TV shows wasn't exactly small. So Wilson Fisk taking over crime, massive law things. The thing is, they never put in an offhanded comment, like maybe Tony Stark reading a paper talking about Wilson Fisk or something like that. But whereas it's all happening in New York.
I guess you could put it down to the fact that, comparatively, him taking over crime compared to a big portal opening up in the middle of New York and aliens coming out of it is pales in comparison. And also, I don't know where Daredevil is set in the cinematic universe. Daredevil's set.
It's in Hell's Kitchen. It's
no.
You mean timeline?
Well, timeline wise, does it? I think it takes place just after the first Avengers. I think.
No, it's got to be closer to the second because they have Avenger Tower, and that came into being post. Avengers 1 because it was still Stark Tower in the first Avengers.
Yeah. Hang on. The show has references to destruction caused in New York by alien invasion from the film Marvel's Avengers. Yeah. I think it's set in between.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's. I think all of those shows are set in between. That. Yeah, I think that they're. But no. They do. Does he? No, they didn't. Okay. Tony Stark didn't reference Daredevil. I don't think he referenced him in the Civil War, sorry. But I think Kevin Feige talked about it, and he said the reason they didn't bring... Obviously, there's probably other reasons, like keeping the TV show separate and stuff, but they said, universe-wise, he didn't invite. He went after Spider-Man instead of Daredevil because Spider-Man wouldn't have killed anyone, whereas Daredevil probably would have beat the shit out of someone and probably, like, you know, when they.
You mean the Vulture in the Spider-Man film?
No, I'm talking about Civil War. Tony Stark recruits Spider-Man over Daredevil
Oh,
or Punisher
right,
or someone
yeah.
because Spider-Man is a kid and he's not gonna seriously hurt anyone, whereas Daredevil would beat the shit out of someone and probably put them in a coma or in a hospital bed, or Punisher definitely would have killed someone. So that's why that was the reason Kevin Feige gave universe-wise. But I think obviously, like you said, they want to keep both universes separate, which
they want to keep their scales sort of correct.
They want to keep TV level stuff and then big screen,
because you can't really send Jessica Jones, for instance, against Thanos in the films, and then she goes back to being beaten up by street level villains. Yeah, I guess it doesn't quite make sense.
Luke Cage makes the most sense. Because in the comics, he's fought alongside like She-Hulk and Hulk and stuff like that.
That's because he's invincible.
Only from the outside, but you can kill him if you put something inside him and blow up. That's how Deadpool killed him in Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe. He steals Hank Pym's Ant-Man suit and then shrinks, goes inside Luke Cage, plants like some miniature bombs, and then comes out and blows them up.
Yeah, but that not exactly canon, or
no,
comedic, not comic, representation of the canon.
But yeah, I'm looking. I watched Thor: The Dark World again the other day because they put it on Netflix, and I hated in both the first one and the second one. Although I understand they had to link Thor to Earth because of the Avengers, but then in the second one, I understand in the first one that they had all this cool shit and then they still just practically stayed on Earth, which is a bit annoying. But I felt after linking him with the Avengers in the second one, like he was talking about the fact that the 9 realms went into disarray. Why not show that? Why did he have to show? They yet again made a reason to link it to Earth and to draw in Natalie Portman and all that crap and all that. I didn't like it.
Because it's very expensive to create CG worlds for everything.
But you're Marvel and you're owned by Disney, and just fucking throw everything you have at it.
I was going to say, doesn't mean they can waste money. But I'm trying to think how to... The point is, and it's something that I've talked to my dad a lot about, people don't care about other people's peril. So put an alien race in danger, and it's, to a greater extent, who cares? As soon as humans are in danger, that's when everybody starts caring, and that's when you start getting the emotional responses from people.
It's not just what race they are, because I didn't care for any of the people that got, any of the humans that got hurt in Dark World or any of the event. It's about building character, because they killed off Thor's mum and played some really sad music in this whole death scene, and I was just sat there watching it and realizing they've made a big thing about her dying, but they didn't spend any time with her, so I don't care.
Right.
They can make you feel for any character as long as they put some time and effort into character development. But so yeah, it was the same with Planet of the Apes. Watching that, like, they actually made you feel for the apes over the humans. Obviously, because they portrayed the humans as the bad guys, but you still felt for the apes, and the apes aren't human; they're apes. It comes down to enough character development that you actually care for the character, whether they're human or not. I think they could have done that easily by putting him in space, and I think the fact that it was just a throwaway comment, oh, the 9 realms were in disarray, but now I'm back on Earth here with you, and it's like, oh, we'll throw up in my mouth a little bit. I think they could have done so much more, like, fun stuff, and that's why I like Guardians of the Galaxy, and that, bringing it all the way back round, that's why I'm looking forward to Thor Ragnarok, because it looks like there's not going to be lots of stuff on Earth.
It's on the, what is he called? The Master?
No, he's the Grandmaster.
The Grandmaster, that's it. His planet.
It's on like a he first gets thrown to like a planet that's like basically the landfill site of the universe that junk just gets thrown and gets recruited from there. But yeah, you see a little bit on. It looks like he's probably on Earth where he meets Gila. I think that's how you pronounce it. but then you see obviously Asgard getting destroyed. You see him on the junk world planet, and then you see it on the Grandmaster's planet. I'm hoping there's just lots of space stuff because that's what I want to see.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that they're showing that. Also, from going all the way back to Infinity War, they also showed off Thanos' team called the Black Order, and they had statues of all the characters, and they think
Yes, I saw that.
they're going to be in the. I'm hoping they showed them off because they're going to be in the films. So they are made up of. I've read the first. It wasn't Infinity War comic. It was the Infinity storyline. I've read the first because they obviously they're like comic book storylines are lots of comics, and then eventually they'll make it into one big comic, won't they? And I read the first half of the big comic. I read the first big comic of that. And
of Infinity War?
No, it's not called Infinity War. It's called Infinity.
Oh right.
Which is very different. That's got lots of Inhuman stuff, which is really cool. And I recommend if you want to, you should read it.
Okay.
There's lots of stuff that leads up to it though, so it might be a bit. It'll probably throw you off a little bit because obviously there's lots of storylines that lead up to that one point, but it's still really cool. So the Black Order is made up of Black Dwarf. He's got super strength, enhanced density.
So what?
He's really dense, Jacob. Impenetrable skin.
Okay.
He's the brother of Corvus Glaive, who we'll get to in a minute. But Black Dwarf was killed by Ronan the Accuser, who was the guy that died in First Guardians of the Galaxy, the guy with the hammer.
He killed a dude with the hammer.
What do you mean?
Snapped his neck. The guy that was communicating for Thanos.
Oh yeah, he like sends a blast wave and snaps like
and snaps dude's neck.
Next guy is Corvus Glaive. He's Thanos' most favoured general. Enhanced strength, speed, durability, endurance, and uses bladed pike, which can cut through anything. That's quite When his bladed pike is in his hand, he's immortal.
Okay.
And the last bit is committed suicide to avoid being killed by Thanos. Nice.
Yeah.
Next one, Ebony Maw. Genius level intellect, specializes in persuasion, utilizes a teleportation device and force field generator. If you want to look at these guys, search them into Google or search D23 Black Order, and you'll get there's these cool pictures of them all stood up. So that's probably what they're going to look like in the film. Proxima Midnight, wife of Corvus Glaive. She's master hand-to-hand combatant. Super strength, 9 pervious. Her lance transforms into unavoidable toxic light beams. Oh, she was killed by Healer. Okay.
Healer, who is death, isn't it? Didn't you tell me? Or am I misremembering this?
I think I've just got a tab up on her, and I'm gonna quickly read into that because I'm positive that is going to be death because. And we'll talk about Thanos in a minute. Then the last member of the Black Order is Supergiant. Very sounds like a name they haven't really thought of.
All of these seem like really boring names, except for
Proxima Midnight and Corvus Glaive.
I was gonna say those are the two that they sound like you would be scared of them, but
yeah.
Black Dwarf
and then Supergiant just got telepathic abilities, so they're like Thanos' closest like his little group of awesome bad guys. So Healer, let me just read through this. Yeah, she's the Asgardian goddess of death, so I was right.
That's different to being death. See, because death is a separate entity, isn't she? So being the Asgardian goddess of death just means she's either a representation or just she is their representation of death.
Hang on a minute. I need to do a little bit of reading because I know it says that she's the Asgardian. What does it say? The Asgardian goddess of death. And they probably do have. God, there's lots of fucking stories about her. This is great. But I doubt they're going to show any other kind of death, and I'm pretty sure that they would have had So the background, because I've read Thanos' origins, and there was a super intelligent race of, I'm pretty sure they're like humans or human-like people on Jupiter's moon Titan, And Thanos was born to one of I think the leader of the people, like the head scientist or something.
Yeah.
And he was.
Sounds very Superman.
Yeah, yeah. And she was. I can't remember if his dad experimented on him while he's in the womb. I think he might have done, because these people are like super strong and stuff like that. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah,
in the comments,
they were
but
descendants of the Titans, weren't they? Because I've read up on Thanos as well.
possibly. He was born and he was like horribly. That's why he's all purple. He's not supposed to be. He was horribly disformed.
Oh,
and
is he
stuff
not?
like that. No, he's meant to look. People from Titan looked like humans. They
Right.
weren't. They did not look like that. He was a complete outsider and he was bullied and stuff like that. And he always had this. He had this. He felt like he had this hole in his life and he was always searching for it.
Yeah.
And because his dad was a scientist, he became very scientific, and he started cutting like animals open and stuff like that. And then he progressed onto humans, and I think he killed his own mum and like cut her open and stuff.
Right.
Then he left Titan after what he'd done, or he's thrown off, one of those two, and he became like a space pirate and stuff. And then I vividly remember it in the comics, he was eventually going to be killed by the pirates, because I think there might have been like a bounty on his head or something, and he kind of just accepted it.
Right.
Was being a pirate, he'd gone around and slept with lots of women as well. That's important.
Okay.
Yeah, it's important that he was a stud, and you find out why later.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember how he like gets up and fights or something. He's got like this. I don't know if Death shows herself at that point, but I think she does, and kind of invigorates him to take. And he kills the pirate leader, and he takes his band of pirates. And he goes around and he's like the leader of them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he's got like powers where he can. It's got a certain name. Let's ask the almighty Google what Thanos's power is called, because it's got a certain. It can blast like basically like energy beams and stuff like that. It's got a specific name. Yes. Origin. Publication history, no thank you. Where's the powers? Yeah, Thanos is a mutant member of the race of superhumans known as the Titanian Eternals. Bionic amplification, mysticism, and power bestowed by the abstract entity Death. Yes. That was it. Thanos can absorb and project vast quantities of cosmic energy and is capable of telekinesis, telepathy, and matter manipulation. That's it.
All fun stuff.
Yes, all very, very fun and horrible stuff, which is probably, I guess, the telekinesis comes from. Although they're probably sure off that he uses the gauntlet to throw the moon at the planet, but.
Yeah.
And he's also. Thanos has proved himself being capable of briefly holding his own in battle against Odin. Although I feel like Odin is shown to be very underpowered in the films, because in the comics he's really powerful.
Well, he hasn't really done anything in the films.
Well, every time, like, think of it in the first Thor film, he's really weak, and he shows up really weak on.
Yeah.
And then he's in the Eternal Sleep, and then in the second one, like, I understand the Dark Elves are really powerful, and what's his name? Malekith created one of the. They're old enough that Malekith created, or helped like bring together the what's the Infinity Stone in that film called?
Ether.
Ether. He helped like. Bring
He
that
forged
and
it from like
and
he used the singularity and forged it. Yeah.
Yeah, and he also blasted Galactus off his feet, which is no easy feat. That's what Thanos did. So he does that, and he's going around doing all these things, and he's killing those people, and he's kind of got, from this point, he's got Death whispering in his ear and talking to him.
Yeah.
And she tells him that he has to go, because he's like infatuated by her and just wants to be with her. And she says, if you want that, you have to go around and kill all the women you slept with before and kill all your children. And he does that. He goes around and slaughters all of them. And she says you have to go back and kill everyone on Titan as well, to kill, just obliterate them, because they're no use to you, they hated you, stuff like that. And he goes back and he goes and talks to his father, and his father's like the head of the Titans or whatever, and head scientist and stuff like that. And he scans every plane of existence and says there isn't anything, because his Thanos says that Death is with him right now. And he goes, there's nothing. I've scanned every plane of existence. I'm not even sure how that's possible, but he scanned them all, and he said there isn't anything. And then Death appears again and whispers, and just kind of whispers like, kill him, and he kills his father. So there's a question that is Death actually actually real? Is he actually seeing things, or is he just a bit of a fucking nutter? But that brings it back around to why they wanted to put, rather than just, I guess they wanted to be a bit more interesting than just him, just death coming, rather than it just being death, make it healer, make it the Asgardian version of death, so that it's kind of linked in a bit more with everything.
Okay.
Because otherwise it has to explain the whole Thanos backstory, and I don't think they're really gonna delve too much into that. I wouldn't imagine.
Well, they've sort of given him some backstory already, haven't they?
No, they've just
No?
no, they've shown him off to be powerful and just manipulating everything to try and get the Infinity Stones into his hands by not doing it himself. But apart from that, he hasn't really been, his backstory hasn't really been explored. And I reckon they might, like, he might do some like dialogue somewhere, and they might show some flashbacks, or they might just show some general flashbacks to like.
As long as they don't just, he goes on a monologue giving nothing but pure exposition.
I hope it's not an exposition monologue, because it's the worst kind. But yeah,
I do this because, yeah, blah blah blah.
So Thanos is really powerful, and it's been confirmed now that he's got at least 2 of the gems. Now, I've said previously, and I still believe it to be true, I think the way they're going to beat him, because there's 2 Infinity Gauntlets in the cinematic universe, and Odin's got one in his vault. Whether it's still around after Hela destroys, I don't know whether she's going to destroy Asgard or not, but
she's going to destroy it, but we're not sure how destroyed it's going to end up being.
Exactly. So
you saw a lot of fire in the
So let's assume
trailer.
that the vault stays intact and they still have the Infinity Gauntlet. I reckon someone is going to wield that Infinity Gauntlet. They're going to use, unless Thanos takes Vision's gem, they're going to use Vision's gem and maybe another one. And Thanos is going to have the other gems, and someone's going to be left with Vision's one and a second one, and they're going to use that to defeat him. I reckon they're going to use the other Infinity Gauntlet, unless seeing it in the first Thor was just like a throwaway. I don't think it would be. Or do you think they would have made it like a bigger thing if it was going to come back?
I have a feeling it would have been bigger if it was going to come back. I personally think that they're going to make it a like story of ultimate triumph where Thanos has all the Infinity Gems and they beat him like that. If they do it the way you're predicting, which I think is just as likely, to be honest, who do you reckon will hold the Infinity Gauntlet?
I think it would be, considering the background of all the characters that they've built up, I think Tony Stark might do it, considering what, like, I think he's had the best arc from the first Iron Man, where he's all cocky and stuff, and as it slowly went on, he started to kind of unhinge after Avengers, after going into space, because obviously Iron Man 3 went a little bit nuts and blew up all of his suits, and then he kind of went off on one in Civil War, and he's kind of going over this arc. I think it'd be really cool if it finishes off as him doing it, because I think people are saying that Captain America's going to die because Chris Evans' contract runs out after Avengers, both Infinity War films. So I reckon after all that fighting and they're broken, Captain America's death, and seeing it, because he saw in the Vision that everyone dead, didn't he? I reckon that's going to kind of happen again, and he's going to see it, and he's going to be real pissed, and I don't know, he's going to do something epic, and he might, like, because they're talking about Robert Downey Jr. stepping down because he's been in like a lot of these films and stuff like that. That he might like do like an ultimate sacrifice kind of end game thing where he takes a gauntlet or takes a weapon. It's going to be a weapon, I think, of some sort, and he's going to butt rush Thanos, and he's going to kill him. I think.
I'm pretty sure he's going to make a. So they've been. I'm not sure if Disney have or people have just been speculating, but there's been a lot of talk around. In the comics, he had an Asgardian armor suit.
Oh, he did, yes.
And my complete theory, that I've got no proof behind it, I reckon he's going to make a suit, an Asgardian suit, but with the Infinity Gems. I also believe Vision is going to be killed.
It's called the Uru armor. The Uru armor was an enchanted bleeding edge armor enhanced with Asgardian magic and covered in Asgardian Uru metal. It's made and was armor. Its design was based off the Asgardian weapon called the Destroyer. Oh, so it would look like the big robot in from the first film, right?
He using the technology from the destroyer. He builds the armor. I do find it funny that they say bleeding edge suit, because when they say that, they're basically referring to the fact that it's so close to the edge. No, so close to the edge of technology that it's called bleeding edge. Well,
I see.
That sort of describes all of his suits.
Yeah.
They might have another reason in the comic books, but I saw it described basically like that somewhere, that it's such post technology that it's all. Also, it's in the comic books, his bleeding edge armors all have something to do with. I forgot what it's called. The serum in Iron Man 3. What's it called?
Oh, what? The
Extremis.
Oh, that one, yeah, the one. Yes, I know what you're about, yeah. It's got something to do with that, has it?
Yeah, he's got basically after the events of this Extremis incident or whatever, he works out how to use Extremis properly and has a second suit basically inside him.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah.
So he has a subdermal suit, nanites something, and he can control his suit mentally. For one, they've actually done it in the comic books, the films. Because if you haven't seen Spider-Man, it's a minor spoiler, but he can control his suits remotely. Also in Iron Man 3 he started doing it, but he combines Extremis with the technology he was using in Iron Man 3 and can control suits remotely. And has a slight armor. It's nothing like close to his Iron Man suits, but has a slight armor under his skin, which allows like perfect connection between him and his suit. So the whole statement in Iron Man 2, the suit and I are one, becomes true. He is one with the suit.
I see. I was just looking up. Yeah, the armor was created. Like Odin was fighting the god of fear, his brother, and his brother was reincarnated his daughter or something, and they basically smashed Earth. And Tony Stark pleaded with the All Father that he give Earth a fighting chance, because Odin was going to raise Earth to defeat his brother.
Right.
And Tony Stark got all armored up in some cool ass armor, and then he. Where does it say? He plunged himself armored up into molten uru, the magic absorbing metal from which the invincible. It says the Asgardian Destroyer was made there, but it says that was also how Thor's mighty hammer was forged. But Thor's hammer wasn't forged by the Asgardians.
It was forged by dwarves or something, wasn't it?
No, it was
Not
forged
like
by
dwarves,
forged by an alien race. He says it in the first film. It was forged in a dying star. It was forged by an alien race. They didn't make it. They either took it or they got it from them. But it wasn't made by Asgardians. It's not their technology. But yeah, that would be super fucking cool. As if Asgard's kind of still destroyed after Thor Ragnarok, but Odin appears and he's like, I don't have the power to do anything myself really, but I can help you create something that will give you a fighting chance. And it'd be cool if Tony Stark got some kind of dope ass Asgardian armor.
Oh, I wonder if they'll just use the destroyed destroyer that's already on Earth. They used the technology once already to create the weapon that Coulson uses against Loki in the first one.
Oh yeah, that's like a yeah, maybe they pull that out of storage or something, and Tony Stark mashes it up, and they're like,
because Shield doesn't exist anymore. It's it does, but only in the TV series. So it's all the technology they've collected is sort of it's not free to use, but
I was gonna say maybe
Tony Stark is the curator, I believe.
I was gonna say maybe they're he thinks about it and he's like, oh fuck, we've got this I've got something that maybe can help us. So they go there, they dig up this wherever it's kept, and they takes it, and then he I would like to think it probably would be with Thor or Vision's help that he mashes it together with his own suit or something, or maybe they try.
You say mash it together. I'm sure it'll be a lot more technological than shove it together.
I'm not technological though, so mash it. Or like, I think they might try to bring it back to life, but they don't have the technology there. So instead, Tony Stark goes, well, let's kind of like dismantle it and then glue it onto one of my suits, and then I'll have this super
You're
badass.
Such a Philistine.
I don't know,
Glue it on.
Weld it or something. I don't know. However they do it, I don't know. Fucking magic, Jacob.
Probably.
I think
There won't be glue.
I'd like. Yeah, we can. I think we can both agree on the fact that they're probably not going to use fucking glue.
Tony Stark's there. How do we combine this? Vision. I have a Pritt stick.
Magical glue from Asgard. It's called Pritt stick. I'd like to thinking about. I'd like to say your theory has more basis than mine, because mine's just a thought of. Because you're right. They would have. Surely they would have brought more of the fact that his Infinity. Although to be fair, they only just showed the Infinity Gauntlet at the end of Age of Ultron, didn't they? So it wasn't like a big thing.
Yeah, but that's the point. They made a thing of it. They
yeah.
made a thing of Ultron going. Not Ultron. Thanos going. I'll do it myself.
Yeah.
Whereas you just saw the other Infinity Gauntlet in the background of Odin's.
It was
armor.
more. It seemed more like an Easter egg. I just thought about it and I thought, wouldn't it be cool if? But I think your theory again, like even if they don't take the Destroyer on Earth, somehow Tony Stark and Thor and stuff like create some kind of dope ass. Like Thor goes, hang on a minute, I'll return to Asgard after Thor Ragnarok. He's probably not going to go back there. I'll return to Asgard and get something, and I'll help you create something. Maybe Tony Stark or someone goes with him, or they go. Some people go to Asgard. Some collection of people go to Asgard, and they get something magical. That's like Odin's like, I've never given this to anyone before, or something. I don't have the power to help myself. Actually, we don't know where Odin will be because Loki's pretending to be him, isn't he?
Loki was pretending to be him. The Easter egg at the end of Doctor Strange sort of confused that matter slightly. Because Loki is helping Thor to locate Odin, who has gone walkabouts.
Maybe that will link
on
into
Earth again.
Maybe that'll link in to everything, because Odin's gone somewhere, and maybe it'll come back around in Infinity War that he went away to get something.
Maybe
that he could see things were unfolding, and he was like, "I need to go and get X piece of artifact or whatever, because
I need to go and level up a couple of times,
or get something to help these people, or get to help Thor and stuff like that, because." Shit's about to go down, and I'm not powerful enough to stop it, even though he is really powerful.
He's the god of gods. Of course, he's powerful enough to stop
fucking
it.
Odin. He's the Skyfather. Like it said in the description, Thanos
the
was
what?
able. He's the Skyfather, the Allfather.
He's the Allfather, Skyfather.
He's in the sky.
I gave birth. No, he's not. He's in space. I gave birth to the sky.
Space guy. It said in the description, Thanos was able to last in battle with him for a moment.
Yes.
They probably slapped him and went, no.
Yeah, that moment was the moment that Odin hadn't noticed.
Yeah.
There seems to be a small child attacking me.
Gave him the old Asgardian backhand and, no! Return to your planet and shut up.
I'd love to see that in the films. Just Odin turns around, no! Slap.
I would love some all-powerful being to come in and just give Thanos a backhand and put him back in his place.
Yeah.
Because the Grand Master in the comics is more powerful than Thanos. He's one of he's not considered a god, but he is really, really fucking powerful. Death has banned him from death, so he's immortal. And he basically, to pass the time, he plays games and manipulates things to happen for his own enjoyment.
Right.
I don't think he's going to be as powerful in the films, but I think him holding arena tournaments kind of alludes to the fact that he likes to watch lesser beings to him, or what he considers lesser beings to fight amongst each other, I guess.
Yeah. It's funny considering the god of thunder is a lesser being.
Well, yeah, like I said, in the comics, the Grandmaster is really, really super up there, powerful on the top 10
He's one of.
list.
I was going to say he's one of the top 10, isn't he?
I think so.
We went through this list a while ago.
Yes, but I like seeing him in the trailer and stuff like that. I was like, maybe they're not going to make him that powerful, but it would be cool to to introduce a character, because, like I said, Odin's supposed to be super powerful, but they haven't made him out to be. Maybe they're waiting to show him off. But I think after Thanos showing his power off, like throwing the fucking moon, I'd like to think that they're gonna. That's the point at which they're gonna go. Okay, we need to level up, and they're gonna bring in more powerful like beings. Because there's Eternity, there's the Living Tribunal, there's a mutant who's the most second powerful thing in the Marvel universe. I can't remember his name.
Well, they teased what's his name? Adam.
He's pretty powerful, but he's not top 10.
He's not top 10, but he's pretty close, isn't he?
He is.
It's just Adam, isn't it?
He's up there, yeah, because they're supposed to be perfect. They're supposed to be Adam and him and his sister are supposed to be Adam and Eve, like representation. Yeah, he's not up there that far, but he's pretty powerful. But I'm talking like
you're talking the
stupidly
top
powerful
10.
Because I'm talking like
Galactus.
I don't know. Do they have? Because obviously they made that really shit Fantastic Four Silver Surfer film. Is Galactus still within Marvel's rights?
No.
I was gonna say,
actually,
I've
just realised that. Yeah,
yeah,
he's Paramount because Galactus is actually a Fantastic Four character.
Yep, that's the thing. They could bring. That would be really fucking cool to bring him in like a huge. I don't know how they do it because I was in the shit Silver Surfer film, in like a fucking cloud. But I guess because the film
purple hat?
The film already looked stupid. It would have probably been more stupid to bring in a giant guy with a big purple helmet.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how they would have done that, but it would be really cool. It'd be really cool to see something, because it was really cool to see what's his face's character in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Like someone who had god level powers.
Ego.
Yeah,
Kurt Russell.
Because he came in on that spaceship and just eliminated all those golden spaceships, and it was like, yes, someone with like actual fucking power came in and just
But they killed him.
I know, but that's what I expected to see from Odin. Then they showed him in the films as this old guy that just pussyfoots around and just like shouts a little bit and gets angry.
Well, for what in Thor, he was a bit tired, so he had to go into Odin's sleep.
Oh, fuck off.
What? That's basically how it was portrayed.
It's a fuck off to them because it was just. I felt like it was just an excuse because they're like, we're dealing with really mainstream characters. We're dealing with like characters of a certain power level, and I think if they showed Odin like as powerful as he is, I think it would have been a problem because it would have set like a huge gap. Like, why does it matter that they're all fighting? Odin could have just come down and just slapped Loki and went, "You're being a bad child. You're grounded." Sent the aliens back to where they were, and that would have been it. So,
well, like I said earlier, they've got to keep their scaling.
Yeah,
to a certain point.
They've got to keep. Yeah, I completely understand why they did it, but I would have liked to have seen him progress and get more powerful.
Yeah, they've scaled up a bit now. They could give him some more power without making him like almighty. Like, I know he is almighty, but
you don't have to put him at the height of his power, but like just show him to be an actual like god that he's supposed to be, not just. He feels like he's on the same. Although Thor's really powerful, he feels like he's on the same level as him. He's like he's a lot more powerful. He's the All-Father. Like, that's like, yeah. But yeah, super fucking excited for Avengers: Infinity War. I cannot wait. I think I said this to you. I think, cause obviously they're going to be like, both films probably going to be like 2.5 hours, 3 hours each. And I think I said to you, because they're filming all of it, and then they're gonna chop it.
Yeah,
up
they're doing
editing.
Lord of the Rings, aren't they?
That like in a play, when you go and watch they've got an intermission, I quite happily watch a set like however long it was, 6-7 hours long, like just one huge cut and have an intermission in between.
I was gonna say, imagine the director's cut.
Because
who is the director? Is it Joss Whedon?
No, it's the Russo brothers.
Oh yes, of course.
They don't. Joss Whedon hasn't done one in a while, but he's still like in. I think he still has a say in things, but he doesn't like direct them.
Well, no matter who I was, I'd be interested in his opinion. Like, because he did the first Avengers. Did he do the second one as well?
Ultron. I think he might have done actually. I think the Russo brothers definitely did Civil War. I think he might have done actually.
But then
I think
wasn't
the first two.
Yeah.
It was It had it was missing two big characters, Hulk and Thor, but it was like a smaller Avengers film. But yeah,
yeah, but it was a Captain America. The point is,
it was
by
a Captain
title,
America.
It was a Captain America film.
Yeah, I think he might. I think Josh Whedon did do the first two Avengers, and then the Russo brothers have
taken up
taken over
3 and 4 technically.
Just a side note,
Yep.
apparently Spider-Man's like getting his spider sense in the Infinity War films. I was like, and thinking back to Homecoming, did he?
He kind of already had it, didn't he? There were a couple of times where he just kind of. He didn't straight up go, "I feel a disturbance," sort of thing, but he did. When he was on the truck.
Yeah.
And Vulture was about to get him. He kind of sensed it then, didn't he?
But
or something like,
what I'm thinking is, I think they would have made a point, because apparently in the showing there was a point where you could see Peter Parker's hair stand on edge.
Really? How are you going to notice that?
No, but it would have been like more of a close up of his arm, where it's like seeing his hair stand up. But I'm trying to think to Homecoming. I think everything he reacted to was just his super reflexes and wasn't his spider sense. Because remember, he's still at like a high school age, isn't he?
Yeah, he's 14.
Now, so even though he had his spider senses from the beginning, maybe he hasn't been a hero for that long technically in the cinematic universe. So, maybe
he's got them. He's just not like tuned into them, sort of thing.
Yeah. You could.
He doesn't know what they are.
He just reacts to things without like thinking about it, and he just knows, oh, that's my powers. That's a good thought, actually. And then obviously, in Infinity War, maybe because there's a bigger threat, he's like, oh fuck, why is my why is everything tingling or whatever?
I have a feeling down there.
when you start growing up and getting to a certain age, your body changes.
Yeah, maybe that's it. He's just knocking off his puberty. It's just my body changing.
So yeah, super excited for Infinity War.
Any other films you're excited for?
Yeah. That's a lovely segue you've made for me there, Jacob. There are two.
I'm good at this.
there are. I was trying to think of something while you're talking. I was like, fuck. There are two. There are.
I got you.
There's Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets, which we can quickly talk about first. I think that's coming out August 2nd, and that's based on like a comic.
Yes, it's another comic book film. It's
like a set
French
of comic novels. Yeah, it's French. It was made by Luc Besson, I think his name is. Yes, Love the Valerian. Right. Oh no, he's directing.
He's the director.
Sorry, of course,
Fan of the
I'm a fucking idiot. He directed Fifth Element and like Lucy and stuff like that.
He directed Fifth Element. When he directed Fifth Element, he was told by one of his close friends, "Why are you directing this film? Why don't you make Valerian?" Because they're very old comic books.
It says here, loved Valerian comics growing up. He did not seriously consider adapting them into a movie until he was working on the Fifth Element.
Yeah. At which point he decided, much like Avatar, the technology doesn't actually exist to do this film justice, and so he couldn't make it.
It wasn't his friend; it was Besson himself. Oh wait, hang on. Oh no, wait.
I saw an interview with him.
Oh, Besson had tapped the Valerian writer Jean-Claude, not going to pronounce that, to work on the film. Who asked Besson, "Why are you doing this shitty film? Why don't you do Valerian?"
Yes.
And then Besson retorted with, "It's impossible at the moment because of the vast amount of just stuff that the comic, all the aliens and stuff."
Yes.
Yeah, and it said here, the release of Avatar served as both a blessing and a curse for Besson, as technically I could see that we could do everything now. The film proved that imagination is the only limit. And that, but he.
How long ago was Avatar?
It was like 2012, wasn't it?
No, it was
2009. Holy
yeah, I was going to say.
Wow.
So you're talking nearly 10 years ago.
The curse was the fact that he thought that James Cameron had pushed levels so high, and that he hadn't got quite a good enough script yet, that he didn't want to rush it out because of Avatar just coming out, and then people obviously would have compared it heavily. Then they would have went, oh well, Avatar's. So he waited. But yeah,
which was a good idea.
Oh yeah, absolutely. On kudos on his part for stepping back and going, you know what, we need to wait. I need to work on this. I think he did that because he loved the comic, the graphic novel so much. I can imagine. I love this so much growing up that I want to make it something that everyone else is going to like as much as I liked it.
I love having fans of things be the ones that end up making them.
Well, it was like I think that's why the Star Wars Episode 7 was so good, because what's his name was a Star Wars fan, and he was saying in interviews, you know, he's going around nerding out. No, it wasn't Zack Snyder. It was
not Zack Snyder. I'm thinking
Star Trek director.
Yes.
Oh, fuck. Quick, Google Star Trek director. I should have done Star Wars, shouldn't I? J.J. Abrams.
That's the one.
It was just in his interviews saying, you know, he was going around the set looking at all these stuff, and he was nerding out. Like, he was directing the film and he was nerding out with his own stuff almost.
Yeah.
And just like thank you so much for directing that film. But yeah, the trailer looks. It is a CGI fest, but I think when I first saw it, without seeing all this background interview stuff, I looked at it and thought, that looks like it's going to be on the same level as Avatar. Like, super awesome space, lots of aliens, lots of cool stuff like that. Wow, there are... Apparently, fun fact here for all you folks, there is 2,734 visual effect shots in this film.
Yes. Which seems like a really small number when you actually look at the trailer.
Yeah, but the trailer is only a small snippet of the collection.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I mean. Like, you'd expect that it means that they've been able to do quite a lot with practical effects, which is, I think, more impressive than the number of CGI.
Yeah. The bit that really gets me on the trailer is when, not sure of the actor's name, the main character. It's Dan DeHaan. Is his name? Yes. Or Dane or Dan. I don't know. DeHaan. When he puts the suit on first, and then the trailer it's just like a cut compilation of him smashing through different things. I was like,
I haven't seen that trailer.
Nerdgasm. It's cool. You see the suit go on and the visor go down, and then it cuts, and you see some text, and he keeps running into different walls, and when he hits the wall, it cuts, and he keeps doing that, and it's really fucking awesome.
Oh,
okay. Yeah, I really like him as an actor. He was in... What was he in? He was in Chronicle. Remember that film with the...
Yes.
That was really good. Place Beyond the Pines, haven't watched that. Kill Your Darlings, haven't seen that. Amazing Spider-Man 2, he was really cool as Goblin. Green Goblin.
Yeah, okay.
He was in Life, which I haven't seen, and he's in A Cure for Wellness as well, which I also haven't seen.
Yeah, I've got no interest in that, but yeah.
But he does look really cool as an actor. He's really
yeah, cool. So when I first watched Chronicle, I wasn't so sure about how he would be as, like, other things, but now that I've seen him in other films, he is really good.
Yeah, I think he's really... I think, to be fair, I think he's probably a little bit underrated.
Probably,
although he's been in some big films, but I don't think he's not been the lead character, but now I think now he is the lead character.
Yes.
Because you think Amazing Spider-Man 2, he was the Green Goblin, but still a back character. In Life, he wasn't the main character, because it had Jake Gyllenhaal and Ryan Reynolds and stuff in.
Yeah.
Although he was the main character in Cure for Wellness, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, he was, but not something I've seen, so...
Oh...
And that is weird.
It didn't do so well.
Cure for Wellness?
Budget of 40 million, made... I guess this would only be box office in the United States, but it only made 26.6 million, which is over half, and I guess worldwide it probably made it back. But yeah, I think he's really good, and I'm looking forward to see that, because I love big space films with... It's on that level of like Star Trek and Star Wars and stuff like that. That ones that just spend time in space, and you
well, like you were saying earlier about not wanting the Marvel films to be in space, not wanting everything to be on Earth. You want your fantasy fantastic.
Yeah, I understand sometimes when it's on Earth, because it's about saving Earth, and that's where it should start. But it started there now, and we've had that. Let's go and visit some really awesome, cool places that are in the Marvel Universe. Because now you've got characters that people care about. You could take them anywhere, and they're still going to care about them.
But yeah, so now having things that can be completely in space. Yeah. And things.
Just the excitement of Earth either not existing in that universe or them just not going to it. I'm just like, just show me your imagination. Yeah. It's basically what you're asking for. Show me what you can come up with. And like the big head from Rick and Morty is show me what you got kind of thing. Yeah. Going into a film doing that. Yeah. I think that's going to be... I don't know if it will... I think it'll have... I don't know. It could either be received really well if the fans like it, or it could be received really badly. I don't think it's going to do, like, stupidly well, but I think it will be I think it'll be okay. I think it'll be pretty good. It'll be on the okay, on my okay meter.
Do you think it's gonna be a series or just a
No,
standalone film?
I think it's gonna be a standalone film. I think they've
kinda
got all
hope
the
so.
comics. They've yeah. Don't keep it as a singular film. I think it'll be a good singular film. Yeah. Another film want to also talk about after watching the trailer a couple of times. The Dark Tower, which is based on the books by Stephen King, but this film is going to be a sequel to the books. It's not going to be set.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not going to. That's what I thought. I never read the books or something.
No, neither have I.
I heard that they were good, but it is
Stephen
set.
King's a very distinguished author, so
Yeah, it is. It is set after the books, which is why I think in the trailer he's like, there's no what are they called, Rangers or something? What are they called?
gunslingers.
Yeah, I think that's why it is like, it seems like almost a little bit more post-apocalyptic or something. I don't know, like saying, oh, there's no more gunslingers and stuff like that, and the man in black is kind of taken over, kind of thing. So I think that is set in the events after the books. You have to let us know because I've never read the books. But I love Idris Elba. I love Matthew McConaughey, so I can't see why the film wouldn't be any good. Because I love watching Thor: Dark World back and seeing Idris Elba. I was like, oh my god, he's just so cool. Like, give me more of his character. He was and he looks like, seeing, even though it's completely ludicrous the way he loads his guns. It's so fucking cool. There's the two bits that stand out, or that they show off in the trailer, are him. I guess he's got a load of bullets in his hand, and the barrel, the chambers are spinning, and he's just letting the bullets drop out of his out of his hand. And
the way
then
he just flicks them out.
The other one is where he throws bullets up in the air like they're on they're on a
speed loader.
Yeah, and he brings the guns toward the bullets in the air. I'm just like, oh my god, just yes. And it gave me goosebumps seeing the trailer in the film and hearing him say, I don't aim with my hand, I aim with my eye.
No,
Is it that one? Yeah. A man that aims with his hand has forgotten his father. I aim with my eye, and then something else, and then it's I don't kill with my gun, I kill with my heart. It just gave me tingles. I was like, oh, just his voice and his his status on the screen, like Idris Elba, just looks so cool. And then Matthew McConaughey is just awesome as well.
Yeah.
He looks really cool as a character, and like his accent as well, and both their screen presence together is just it's just gonna be amazing.
Matthew McConaughey sort of always talks like Matthew McConaughey, but it really works in this film.
That's what makes him so cool, though, isn't it? His southern accent is and the way he talks. Yeah, that's why I love Interstellar so much. That's why one of my favorite films, because he was amazing. I thought he was incredible in it. He's so cool. Couldn't praise him enough. Either of them couldn't praise him enough. But yeah, this film was announced like fucking years ago. Here we go. 2007, at New York Comic Con, King surprises rabid fans with the news that he has sold the rights to writers Damon Lindelof and J.J. Abrams. And basically, I think they said back in 2007 it would be a movie produced by Paramount. But he didn't. Yeah, cool. King said at that in 2007 that he didn't sell the rights before because he didn't think there was a chance of it being a good movie, but he trusted J.J. Abrams and Damon Lindelof.
Yeah, well, let's face it, if you're going to trust anyone, you want those two.
Oh shit, in 2009 they abandoned the project.
Yes.
Primarily because they can't figure out how to adapt the books without changing them. I think, which is fair enough. I can't imagine they want to change them. And I think because Stephen King, and it says here, because Stephen King his writing style so unique, that adapting The Dark Tower was tricky. Then in 2010, Universal Pictures and NBC announced plans to bring The Dark Tower to both the big and small screens. A film trilogy will be put together with 2 seasons of TV miniseries, all directed by Ron Howard. 2011, the project reportedly runs into budgetary complications, and they back out, I think. Yeah, Universal and NBC end up scrapping the original start date, lowering the budget and ordering rewrites. And then in July of 2011, they dropped the project. In 2012, It basically went through like a fucking shitstorm for since 2007, and finally it's now coming to our screens. And I don't. Again, same with Valerian. I don't think it's gonna be a humongous hit, and it's gonna be like incredible and amazing. But I still think it's going to be very good.
Yeah.
It's not going to be top tier, top shelf. This is going to be an amazing film forever. But I still think going to see it, Matthew McConaughey, Idris Elba, the action, like the story and stuff
It's definitely
like that.
one to see in the cinema.
Yeah, you say that, but I think all films are for.
There are some that I think I can miss this in the cinema. I don't mind that.
I think
but this is one I definitely think I want to see in the cinema.
I think it comes down to genre as well. I think certain genres like comedies and stuff like that, or like rom-coms and stuff like that, completely pointless in the cinema. But I think big films with big action sequences or big, like Interstellar, like you had to go and see that in the cinema, and if you hadn't, you missed out because it was a humongous spectacle, and like the shots and just everything was. You can see some films were made to be seen in the cinema. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That film was, even going back and watching it now on Blu-ray, like it looks amazing, but it's like it wasn't quite as good as the big cinema screen and the surround sound, and But yeah, two of those films to watch out for, and then obviously Avengers when it comes around to coming out. I can't wait to do that. So we've hit the hour mark, and we're going to quickly wrap up with some. I say real world news, like I guess you call it normal news rather than us picking each other's brains about random stuff. We'll start with Jacob.
Yeah.
Can esports take on football? Yes or no?
No.
You don't think it can?
Nope.
Why not?
Because football. I'm assuming we're talking about football, British, not so. For any American viewers, if you're out there, soccer is massive in Britain. It's
not
practically
just Britain,
religion.
It's not just Britain though, is it? It's a world.
No, yeah, but I don't. It's football is. It's not as popular anywhere else as it is here. America, they have their football. American football is sort of the equivalent. They actually do a hell of a lot more. So you've got football, baseball. They just are sports crazy. But sort of, I guess the best translation would be, can esports get bigger than sports? Even then, I think the answer is no.
Yeah,
because of the following.
I was gonna say, especially for take over other sports like baseball and stuff like that. I think yes. I think that's a certainty, because people coming into this world and younger generations are growing up. A lot of them, even ones that like baseball, are growing up also with technology, and no doubt they at least know about video games and are maybe marginally interested. So I think one day, I say smaller sports. Baseball is a smaller sport to football. It just English football. It just is. And I think it will beat out ones like that. But to beat the thing is with football, it's the history attached to it. It's been around for so long. Like you said, it's like a religion. It's been around for so long that it's cultivated. Like
you support your local teams and things, whereas you won't have that with esports, because it's so. Esports can bring people together, right? So by which I mean you can have a team comprised of people from all over the world. Now I know football has become like that. You've got huge international trading for football teams, but you still have like your local heroes and your local allegiance, because that's where you were born, that's who you grew up with, sort of thing, and who your family supports. You don't have, actually, like you said, you don't have that history with
and it starts with the thing that got it going. Was it started with the local fans? You know, think of all the big teams now. They started off somewhere, and the local fans supported them enough that they've got to a point now where there are people on the other side of the world that support Manchester United, or there are people in England that support Barcelona. You know, vice versa, kind of. And
it's a game that started off the guys from the pub or an office getting together to compete, to play football, and then maybe compete against the guys in the next town over. And you're talking 60, 70 years ago, it was like that.
I was going to say football is a lot older than 60 or 70 years, but...
No, I know it's a lot older than that, but 60, 70 years ago, you didn't have the massive international following.
No.
It was still a game for gentlemen sort of thing.
I think if technology is going to keep progressing the way it's going, that eventually it's going to take as long... It's probably going to take a little bit longer than football needed, but I think it will get to a point where esports will become as big as... I think it will catch up to football at some point. I think it has to. I think, like I said, people going into this world are growing up with technology, and esports is based around technology. I think it's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, because you got to think about it. Although, like, video games aren't that old compared to football. Like, football dwarfs it like massively, and technology is also new as well, whereas football didn't require fancy technology. So as technology goes, I think eventually it will... I'm not going to say it's going to dwarf it, because I don't think it ever will, but I think it might catch up to it at some point. I think it will become huge. Yeah, I think that's just inevitable with the growth of technology, that things based around technology will get bigger as a result.
Do you think we'll ever digitize the football industry?
What do you mean by that?
Like people playing not quite FIFA, but sort of digital incarnations of the game rather than the physical ones. Do you think that will ever become...
Oh, so you're talking like maybe like a thing where it's like a VR helmet kind of job, where you're playing football in a small area, but it looks like you're in a... I don't know. I don't think it will. And this is a great segue onto the next thing, because I think advances in technology will get far enough where humans will be advanced, and it will just be advanced humans playing on the pitch. There'll be a lot more technology involved, but I still think at its core it will still be people playing in some kind of pitch in some kind of stadium. I don't think it will ever get to a point where it's... maybe like thousands of years in the future, maybe, when we're like maybe brains in jars or something. But I don't think in let's say the next 100, 200 years, I still think it'll be more technological
people on pitch.
But at its core it'll still be people playing against other people on a pitch of some kind somewhere. And that human upgrade was a great segue onto our next little news story before we cap it off. Talking about a Professor Hugh Herr, who heads the biometrics group at MIT, talking about the fact that apparently we're at a key transition in human history, talking about the fact that the incredible goals they've achieved in creating artificial limbs for people who are amputated, which I think is wonderful.
I'm sort of torn with that. But tying back to your football thing, you saying that you'll have augmented people on the pitch, would that not be classified as cheating?
If augmentation gets to an extent where everyone is augmented, then no. But if it...
At which point, why not just replace it with robots instead of people?
Because
if you're replacing them that much,
maybe it does get to a point where we've got robots like that, and we have... It would have to be AI robots, though, and I don't know... That's a whole nother topic. I don't think we'd have... I don't think robots would play against humans. I still think it would be... We might get to a point where augmentations just become something you might get at birth, I reckon.
Oh, okay.
Like some kind of implant or some kind of upgrade you get given at birth that is just a thing, rather than growing up a little bit and then you're like, oh, for my birthday I'm gonna get like super robotic legs or something. I think it's just gonna be something's gonna be just given to us as we're born, so that we just grow up with it. I don't think it'll ever be... I think to start off with, it will be a case of choice, because people might choose oh yeah, I'm going to get this crazy implant that's just come out or something like that. But I think eventually it will just be a thing that everyone kind of has to have, kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you played Deus Ex?
No.
Okay. It's based completely around this topic of human augmentation. The interesting thing is, sort of in the interlude between the two games, you have this massive crisis. There's a massive crisis at the end of the first game, but it sparks a debate and basically racism between people with augmentations and people without. Basically, when people can be augmented, where do you draw the line at when people remain human?
Well, I think well, the thing that makes us human is our brains. So I'd say if the thing is, even if the brain were to be replaced with a mechanical one, if you are somehow able to transfer consciousness, like you've seen Chappie, haven't you?
No, I haven't.
Oh, do you mind if I spoil it?
No, go ahead.
Yeah, spoilers for everyone who hasn't seen it. At the end, the robot, near the end, the robot uses like a fuckload of PS4s to basically process, because he is AI, and he uses those PS4s near the end to process, and he learns how to create artificial intelligence, and not only that, how to transfer something even bigger, is to how to transfer consciousness from one thing to another, and he uses it on the person who made him, and he becomes a robot. I think it doesn't matter. It's not about the physical form; it's about the mental form. Even if you, like I said, even if you transfer the consciousness of a human into a robot body, that person is still to me, that is still that's still human. But what is the definition of human? I think is the next question, because whatever defines as so human, adjective of pertaining to, characteristics of, or having the nature of people, consisting of people. So the definition mentions nothing about physical things. It is just the idea of human.
Yeah.
So yeah, a human consciousness put into a robot body is still in my eyes human, because they have human consciousness. It's not AI. It's not alien or anything like that. It's a human. Because what makes us human is our I mean, lots of things do, but the thing that gives us personality is our frontal cortex. That's where all the personality stuff is I was going to say installed, is made.
Held.
Yeah, so that is so the front of our brain gives us personality. So as long as that is still within something, I still consider something to be human. I don't think, their body might be robotic, but their mind is human. So, yeah, whatever. That's what I think that is. And I think on that quite heavy topic, that we will end the podcast here. It's got just over an hour. I think we spent a lot of time talking about Avengers, but that's warranted because comic books are great. Covered the two films, and we talked about esports, and then almost got into a talk about human morality and stuff like that, which is quite weird. Went from superheroes down to films, up to gaming, and then back down to human morality.
Intelligent rambling.
That's
what we do.
You're welcome. Yes. Right. Thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed all the topics. If you have anything you want us to talk about, like I don't know, anything, suggest it, and we'll look at it, and then we'll see about talking about it. Also, talk about how you feel about all the things we've talked about. So, Avengers: Infinity Wars. Are you excited? Valerian. Are you excited for that film? Dark Tower. Are you excited for that as well? Talk about esports as well. Do you think that will take over real life, like sports, baseball, basketball, football, stuff like that? And also talk about the robotic stuff. I think it's really interesting to hear what people have to say about.
Yeah.
Or even people that have mechanical limbs. Like, what is that like? That all of that would be interesting to see. So leave that in the comments. Like the podcast if you liked it. Share it with your friends.
If you think of a name, please comment that in the comments as well.
Yes, we're also kind of we're just starting this out, so we want to call it something, and any suggestions are welcome. So thank you very much for tuning in. I've been Luke.
I've been Jacob.
And good night.